some of you already know I had a little too much fun at Mecum, and this was running across the block, and I had to have it. I saw it on the website, and 3 or 4 months before it ran, I recognized the car immediately. Some of you might know what it is, some of you might not, but I'll educate you really quickly. This is the Kenny Brown 289 RS. The 289 RS was a 281 32 valve Cobra engine that was bored out to a 289. He forged the pistons and rods. The cranks were pretty good in these cars from the get-go. And he put a bigger oil pan, windage tray, all Hooker engines did the whole build in Indianapolis, which some of you might know I'm from Indianapolis, so again, it was a little bit of a sentimental purchase. So, engine upgrades, and of course, Kenny Brown. If you don't know who Kenny Brown is, in 1987, he won the championship with Saleen. He was the main engineer behind those cars. He took a lot of that and started influencing the street car market. And this was really the jewel. This was the Red Rocket. It was in close to 18 magazines. I almost have them all. It was in Car and Driver, and it was on Motor Week. It was a very stout car. I know today's standards, like 450 horsepower isn't a lot, but back then, this was a lot of car. It's complemented with the Forge Line wheels, big Brembo brakes. There's even the brake ducts that go through the fangs. That is actually a Kenny Brown hood. How you can tell, it looks very Saleen-ish, but it doesn't have the inlet that the Saleen does. He did the spoiler delete, which is, I've always loved Kenny's kind of style in his cars. He's a very form follows function, function follows form. And I love his taste in cars. So the Red Rocket didn't just stop at suspension, wheels and tires and the whole nine, and boost. It also had a very factory looking roll bar setup in it. Now I'm sure that those harnesses, like the tires, are expired. The tires were date coded for 1999, so we swapped those out. I'm gonna try to hang on to the harnesses as long as I can, but yeah, to properly track this car, you need to get some safe ones in it. The interior components that were complemented with carbon fiber, which in 1997, some of you don't know, but carbon fiber wasn't something that you just could willy-nilly get on eBay. So that was a very expensive little trim piece that was added to these cars. So Kenny also loved a ton of caster in the car. So if you look at the strut towers, they are significantly moved. It's a really well set up car, and as you'll see in our video of driving it around, I can't believe how tight this car drives. And I know it's only got 13,000 miles, but a lot of you know that these SN95s are normally complete rattle cans. And this thing is so tight, it turns so tight, it hugs the road, it drives extremely well, and it stops really well. I am really excited to get this car to a local autocross. I'll probably do an occasional, HBDE, because that's what Kenny would have wanted. So as far as I know, it's the only one that exists, because it actually started out as the C4 in the magazine. So it was like a C4S, and Kenny had kind of like the level 4 suspension on it. And then as he was coming out with new components, this was kind of his personal car, so it went on it. So it evolved. It went from that to Forge Line wheels, different hood, more power, better brakes, different things. It's now the level 5 suspension, that he had, which a lot of that included some significant braces. I'm super stoked to have it, and I will take care of it, but I'm gonna play with it.